Hello guys, Steve here, BS Slot Cars, and today we're going to show you how to convert an HO car to run on 1/32 scale track or 1/24 scale Carrera or even the Go 1/43 scale style tracks. Today we're going to do this Auto World car, but you could do this with any HO car. Like this is a Mega G Plus by AFX. I got the braid on the shoes and the straw on the guide pin. This is an Auto World already done. So what you need is some glue. You don't even need solder. Some braid you cut like this. Thin braid. This is actually desoldering wick that been degreased in like denatured alcohol and what's that other stuff, the nail polish remover stuff. You splash it around in there till you get it clean. That's if you can't find it without the flux in it, then you have to deflux it yourself. And then we got some flags, the guide pins from the AFX cars and the Auto World ones. We're going to try something new with them because I usually put these red pin covers on here, the straws. So we're going to try a different method on this one here. So let's get to it and convert this one to run on the big track. Alright guys, I'm going to try to show you this as best I can here. What you want to do is get your new car and you want to take off the pickups. Watch you don't lose them springs. As we all know, they get lost. So let me put them over here. Alright, now you have them. You just want to degrease them really quick with some alcohol. Just a little bit like that. And you want to go around this front edge here and over there. Just like that. And let it sit. Now you got your braid. Just to show you how small these pieces of braid are, here's a guide pin next to them. So that you don't need a real long piece. And like I said, that's desoldering wick. That was one without flux, but I don't know if you could get it anymore. You may have to do like I said and degrease it out of there, the flux. So what you do is, I'll show you this car here. You want to install these braids on the very inside of each shoe. You see it's spaced on the outside, there's a space. You want them in close so they line up with the track rails. That makes them line up better. So what I do is I basically get a piece of this stuff here and I just put it where I want like this with my finger on it. And I leave a little bit overhanging on the front. I don't know if you guys could see that. And you hold it on. It's hard for me to do, but I leave it sticking out a little bit. And then I just use my fingernail and I roll it up the front of the shoe like that. Smush it up that way so it rounds. It goes rounded so it fits good. And I'll do that and I'll leave it like that. Then I'll do the other one the same way. Hold it where you want it. And then leave a little bit sticking out. And then just round that up like that with your fingernail to follow that contour of the pickup shoe. Now I leave them so I know which way I have to glue them on. Well, I know this, it doesn't matter. This one's an inside one. You just got to make sure you do them right. And then this one goes on the inside. So, but I know. Now, what you do next is you get a little bit of this goop glue here, the shoe glue I use. And I just put a little bit on. Let me show you. I just put a little bit on the tip of this cut thing here like this, or whatever you got. Let me put on my glasses so I could see better. Let me get the shoe, and I'd get this braid here. You see how long it is? You only want to put a little bit on the front, like quarter part, and you like smear it on just like that. Then you put it in place and then line it up even with the edge of the shoe, and then smash that front like that. Smash it down just like that. Make sure you don't get nothing on the braid. And you want to smash it and hold it for a few seconds. That should be good enough. Make sure it's straight like that on the edge. That should be good to go. The reason I don't glue it all the way to the end is because if you want, you could flare up the end of the braid to make it contact better on the track. Now we'll do this one here. And always leave them like that so you know which way you got to do the next one. And that's got to be on the inside. So we get our braid here again with just a little bit of glue. You don't want to use too much. And I'm trying to look at two things at once. And you just put it on the first quarter of the braid up to the front. And then this one's got to go here. I put it in the front like that. Let it just fall. And smash it down. And I found the electric goes right through this. I actually ran a big RC car motor through a shoe, through the positive wire, by lifting up one end of this shoe and going through the other end from the braid. And I ran a big RC motor that draws like 20 amps, 15 continuous, and it worked perfect. It didn't get hot or nothing. Just push that down, and that's number 2. So you have your both shoes ready, and you got to let that dry. So when they're done drying, you can put everything else on. But next, we're going to try something new. Instead of getting these pins, I get these straws, the plastic air spray nozzle straws. They're for the cans. And I drill out, I think it's 1.2 millimeter with a little drill bit. Then they go right on like that, and you could glue them on. You could do it on any metal pin or anything. I'm going to try something different here, guys. I got some plastic tubing ABS. I'll link it below. This is 4 millimeters. And I actually made one already. I'll show you really quick. And I'll show you how I did it so you know, but I'll show you the one that's pre-done. You could do this to the old Aurora guides like this, the wide ones, or the new style, the Auto World ones. But anyway, here's what I did. Let me pull this off. This is a piece of that pipe. And what I did was, I just squeezed it a little bit, like that, with your hands. And I just shoved the pin in there. You could probably use a pliers, it'll work better, but I'm not gonna use my hands. And I just shoved it in like that. Just like that. And then you could go with a sharp scissor and cut it any length you want right across. And then you could just squeeze it a little flat or leave it wide, however wide you want it for the thickness of the slot in your track. Like, see how wide that is? You may have to squeeze it with a pliers to make it thinner, depending on what type of track you got. That's what I did. I just got like this here, this needle nose, and I just went like this on it real quick, and it made it thinner. Anyhow, then I cut that off, and I ended up with this piece here, just like this. And that goes right on like this. And you could sand the edge round if you want, but that makes it wider. You could see right there how wide it is. See that? And then you could glue this on by putting a little bit on the guide here and just slipping this over. I suggest using like the shoe glue so you could peel it off and use it over again and install a new one if you want, so you don't always have to switch it. And then you could just pop this in your chassis. Depending on your chassis, you may have to make the pinhole over here. Now, as the hole where it snaps in, you may have to ream it out a little bit to make it spin freely in there if you want it to spin. I think it's better when it spins around inside the chassis. But we're going to put this back together and we're going to install this in there. Then we're going to give it a run on the track. I'm just going to super glue this really quick so it stays on. And in fact, I'm not even going to use these shoes. I'll use ones pre-made that I already have made. And I'll show you it running on the track because I want those to dry. It takes a while for the scoop glue to dry, at least probably an hour. It'll be good enough. Alright, so let me get some shoes on this one, and I'll show you it when I'm finished, and with the guide pin in there also. Alrighty, now I have it on the Auto World guide, because I don't want to ream this chassis out. I did it to my other one, so I know it does work, but I just want to do this really quick to show you guys. You could do it with the stock one also. See how it spins? That's how you want it to spin on these wider flags. If you make them wide, you want them to spin. But if you do my other method with this little red tube, you could just use a normal pin and it don't have to spin because it's straight. But with this wide one, you're better off having it spin. I did this one here with it, and you can see I made it spin really easy, but I just put some tape on the side, a sticker, so that way my counter picks up better. Alright, so everything's ready to go. We're gonna hit the track and I'll show you how it works. I just super glued this one on real quick on the Auto World guide pin just to show you guys. So here we go. We're gonna go on the track. Alrighty guys, here she is. She's ready to hit the track. This is a new car. I never drove it. We got the braid glued on to the pickups, and we got the stock guide pin. This is the fat wide type, not the pin. And I put that 4mm ABS plastic tube squished on it, and I glued it on like that. Let me show you from the front before I run it. That's what it looks like. It widens it out so it fits in the track groove. Let's hit it. Alright. This is all stock. I'm running the stock hard rubber tires too, so they don't grip good. But the car looks sweet, this 55 Chevy. And you can see, they run like beauty. The guides work. I'm not used to the car, I haven't drove it first time, so like I said, you could do this with all HO cars. She looks good, doesn't she? Let me know what you think of it, guys. I'm not pushing it to the limit. Oh, she slid out. I haven't even seen it. Oh, I can go a lot faster than I think I can. Woo, she's a beauty. There you have it, guys. I hope you like this conversion. I hope you guys got something out of this and you could do this for your HO cars to run on your larger scale tracks and also go tracks. And actually, I'll link some copper tape that's conductive. A subscriber of mine did his go track and it made the lanes, like the rails, wider because you stick the copper right over them, so it makes them wider so the shoes hit. He runs them without copper braid on there and he said it works great. But even with the copper braid, I think it works much better. But just because he widened it out with that tape, it worked awesome. So I'll link that copper tape below also, along with these pipes. And if you want to try this out, try it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. This car's fun. I like it. Looks really nice. It works great. Now imagine how nice it'll work with nice tires on the rear, because these things are like rocks. Alright guys, appreciate yous all. Have fun racing those slot cars and tuning them up. That's why I like the HO cars. You get a little more now out of them when you run them on the big tracks. You get more tuning, you could do more stuff with them, so it's kind of cool. You could work on them more. That's just me though. That's what I think about doing this stuff. It's more fun for me. And they work really good on the big track, as you've seen. I think they work much better and smoother than on the little AFX and Tyco tracks. Alright guys, enough babbling on. I'll see you next time on the track racing my sister. And you know us. We always have a blast. Everyone have a blast. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're new watching, please subscribe. Hit that bell so you don't miss the future videos. And we'll see you next time. BS Slot Cars out.